educator, joining us now from every classrooms, offices, and home across the nation. Mabuhay po kayo. Today, we do not just open a webinar. Today, we light a torch. Welcome to the national webinar on ILAW lesson planning, the teacher's roadmap from intention to impact. Mga kasama, let me ask you, what happens when a teacher walks into a classroom without a plan? It's like a ship sailing without a compass. But what happens when a teacher walks into a classroom with ILAW? The whole classroom comes alive because ILAW is not just a framework. ILAW is a promise that no Filipino learner will be left in the dark. Intention. Teach with fire in your eyes. Before the bell rings, before the first slide, ask yourself, para kanino ito? Para saan ito? Clear intention turns a lesson into a mission because we're not just covering competencies, we are carving the future. L, learning experiences. Design with heart, teach with soul. Let us move beyond lectures, beyond worksheets. Let us create classrooms where children don't just listen. They feel, they discover, they believe, because meaningful learning is not what we pour into them. It is what we ignite in them. A, assessment. Lead with truth, not just with grades. Assessment is not a weapon. It is a mirror. It tells us who needs help, who is ready to soar. When we assess with wisdom, we don't just measure learning. W, way forward. No child left behind. No dream left waiting. After the test, after the output, our work continues. Because a true teacher does not say, tapos na. A true teacher says, ano pa kaya ang kaya natin gawin para sa mga batang ito? That is the way forward. That is love in action. Mga mahal naming guro, listen to me. Lesson planning is not paper. It's a power. It is how we declare to every child that you matter. I prepared for you. I believe in you. In a world full of noise, be the ILAW. In a generation full of questions, be the answer. In a country that needs hope, be the reason a child dares to dream again and again. So today, let us learn boldly. Let us plan deeply. Let us lead courageously. Because when a teacher plans with ILAW, classroom turns into launch pads. And when a classroom turns into a launch pads, a nation rises. To every teacher here, maraming salamat po. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for staying. Thank you for fighting for every learner. Mabuhay ang mga gurong Pilipino. Mabuhay ang ILAW ng bayan. So let's begin from intention to impact. From one lesson to a thousands of lives change. Maraming salamat po. May God bless us all.
Join us for the Join us for the all-in-one powerhouse face-to-face seminar with a new official date on October 24, 2026 at the Holy Name University, Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Enhance your professional competencies through two premium seminars in one day. Earn 22.5 PRC CPD units, receive four professional certificates, and gain practical strategies on transformational leadership and instructional supervision and innovative teaching through ICT integration. Reserve your seat for the all-in-one powerhouse face-to-face seminar and enjoy the early registration rate of only 2,499 pesos. This comprehensive professional development program offers the following: 22.5 PRC CPD units, 48 training hours, 4 professional certificates, seminar kit, and digital handouts, snacks and lunch, and 2 high-impact seminars in one event. Take advantage of the discounted registration before the promo ends and secure your slots today. So magkita-kita po tayo sa October sa Bohol. Upgrade your instructional leadership and digital teaching skills in the national webinars on strengthening instructional supervision and innovative teaching through ICT integration, Twinkle, and Canva, happening on August 21 to 23, 2026. This full online professional development program equips educators with innovative digital tools and practical strategies for today's technology-driven classroom. Participants will receive 8 PRC CPD units, 24 training hours, 2 electronic certificates, live online session via Google Meet, and practical ICT, Twinkle, and Canva integration strategies. Limited slots available. Register now and transform your teaching for the future. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. We hope you have a relaxing and refreshing break. Thank you for returning for our afternoon session. But before we start our afternoon session, let's have another quick interaction. If you are ready for this afternoon webinar session, kindly type ready and recharge. How about the others po? Are you ready and recharged for this afternoon session? All right, they are ready and recharged. Thank you for your active participation. And now, without further ado, I will give back the virtual floor to Dr. Inad for the continuation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so let me go ahead and believe I have the wrong. Okay, okay. All right. So welcome back, everyone, to the PM session. I'm just hoping that whatever is it that we actually covered this morning is something that's integrated in your mind when it comes to the theories, the concepts, right? As well as the tips, on how to be able to properly implement the ILAW framework into our lesson planning activities. And so we are now on the fourth component of the ILAW framework, and that is the ways forward. And it's about closing the instructional loop. Now, this component actually asks what should happen after evidence has been gathered and interpreted. Say, for example, you're able to do the formative assessment and you're able to see that most of your learners were actually able to show competency on that particular scaffolding objectives, or perhaps you're able to do a mastery assessment already of that learning competency, and it shows that 100% of the learners were actually able to show mastery of the competency. So what's going to be the next steps? And this is going to be our focus for this afternoon. Again, this is the ways forward of the ELAW framework. Right, so reflection should lead to remediation, enrichment, extended learning, or better instructional decision. It should not end with a general statement such as some learners do not understand. Because if you are going to be doing that, it's not very reflective of a proficiency level. The ways forward closes one instructional loop and informs the next. So, in that sense, it is both an ending and a new beginning. Now, useful reflection examines what evidence shows where learners struggled and why the difficulty may have occupied, which strategies work, and what should change. It may also identify professional support the teacher needs, right? The purpose is not to assign blame to learners or to teachers. It is actually to improve the next decision. A reflective statement becomes actionable when it connects evidence with specific response, like learner struggled. It should be described as I will model one more contrasting example before independent practice identifies a good way forward. Now, different evidence patterns require different instructional responses. If most learners demonstrate mastery, proceed and extend. If a small group needs a support, provide targeted remediation. If many learners share a misconception, use the whole class reteaching with a revised approach. If the evidence remains unclear, redesign the check. So basically, the ways forward here is your assessment tool as a planner as to what's going to happen next? Am I going to reteach the whole session? Or am I going to just proceed to the next step? Or am I just going to be doing what we call as selected interventions? Now, this decision table prevents automatic responses. Not every low score means the content is difficult or repulse everyone. Sometimes the issue is the assessment. Sometimes it is an access barrier. Sometimes it is one misunderstood concept. Therefore, interpretation must come before intervention. So it's not enough that we go ahead and actually just take a look at the scores. We go ahead and consider such factors. We also try to consider whether or not our assessment or the assessment that we delivered after the session was actually appropriate because it might be the reason why the learners are not performing. So, say, for example, based on your plan is just about remembering, based on your scaffolding objectives, you're too focused about remembering and understanding only. And yet, when you delivered and also the learning experience is only focused on the remembering and understanding. However, when you conducted the assessment, you were asking a lot of questions about analyzing, for example, or applying, or evaluating, or creating, which were not even covered as part of the scaffolding objectives or not covered as a learning experience. Then ultimately, based on analysis, the issue is on the assessment and not actually in the content, right? So, for example, the evidence shows that most demonstrate mastery, then you may go ahead and proceed and extend, just like what I mentioned a while ago. But if the evidence remains unclear, then there's a possibility for a need to redesign. No? So we can go ahead and check again if the learning competency is aligned with that of the scaffolding objectives and the learning experience are actually addressing the scaffolding objectives, or also if the assessments are but a way to gather evidence of proficiency based on the item-based objective. All right. Now, learning, by the way, may continue beyond the classroom. No? All right. It can be extended beyond the classroom session through purposeful reinforcement, enrichment, remediation, or community application. For example, I was talking about probably um, what we call as the topic on research and not research. So probably I will assign my learners to go ahead and kind of consider situations in the family or in the community wherein you can go ahead and determine whether such a situation is researchable or not researchable. Things like that, no? So those are examples that we can do for the ways forward. Now, extended tasks should remain manageable and accessible. They should deepen or support the intended learning, not simply increase the amount of work. I'd like to highlight on this because we have the tendency, teachers have the tendency to actually add or provide additional activities that are not related to the topic, and most often than not, these are just additional burden to learners, and that's the reason why learners are so stressed out because it's kind of a different thing already from what was covered in the class. Now, a home or community task is especially valuable when the context adds authenticity. For example, documenting household water practices after studying conservation. That this is simple. No? Does the extended community or opportunity contribute meaningfully to learning, or is it merely the lesson refusing to go home? So these are things to be considered as to what we can do for ways forward, requiring us to continue beyond the classroom time. Now, let us basically synthesize the framework. So again, intentions clarify destination. So because it has the learning competency there, as well as the scaffolding objectives, and even content standard and performance standards. Learning experience, on the other hand, is the one that is the journey. How will the scaffolding objectives or even the learning competency be achieved, all right, obtained or met? That is the purpose of the learning experiences. Assessing learning reveals the progress. It's a way of assessing whether the learners were actually able to possess and manifest the required cognitive skills required of the learning competency. And again, we go back that if it's formative assessment, of course, your evidence would be tailored to the scaffolding objectives. But if it is a summative test, for example, summative test 1 and 2 for the 3 term calendar, or it's a, shall we say, a mastery test for that matter, then that should basically address the cognitive demand of the learning competency. Otherwise, it's like ballooning, right? Scores from a not genuine evidence data gathering of the learning. Right? The ways forward determines the next move. If either you would need to do a reteach, if you need to do an intervention, or are you going to be doing an extension, for example? So if you could try to analyze the ILAW framework, the ILAW frame is basically like a cycle, right? The end of one is the start of another, or the end of one could result to you redesigning that particular cycle so that you will be able to get or you to obtain the expected results. So alignment means that the same instructional logic runs through all four components. Therefore, the objective should shape the experience. Thank All right. While waiting for Mom Feli, let's go ahead and proceed to calling Mom Lindy Zapra. Mom Lindy.
Hello po. Hello,
Hello.
Doc.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Yes po. I am good. Actually, ilang percent na lang? 16% na lang yung sa cellphone, yung battery. But anyway, sige po.
Please take advantage of it. So, how was the experience, ma'am,
Opo.
writing the lesson plan and uploading it to the platform with automatic detection of alignment for the learning
Ah,
competency to objectives to learning experience to assessment?
yes, Doc. To tell you frankly, I'm not really familiar with the ILAW
Mm,
because we only had one full day. Ano, make it 2 full days of seminar, and I am an effective teacher.
mm,
And during the seminar, the 2 day seminar, I found out that the curriculum guide and even the budget of work mas nalimuot. It's complicated. It's a hit or miss when it comes to learning competencies. So it's not arranged compared to other subjects like
mm,
life and career skills. It's arranged, but by week. But with the effective it's not. So I am really having a hard time with it. And then yun na nga, we had what 2 days, 2 days of seminar on the ILAW, and it was no references. We were told to adopt the exemplar, and yet the exemplar is not even aligned with the BOW. The BOW and the curriculum guide. So it's really chaotic. Um, yun na nga, that's why sariling kusa, I'm attending seminars for me to familiarize with the ILAW. So, if you have noticed, Doc, the template I had used for the ilaw, it's different from the other templates, right?
yes,
Because
yes.
that is the template we were asked to follow. Although
Mm,
I myself I am not I don't approve of that because it's different from what was presented to us during the May seminar. Remember
mm,
the national
yes.
what's this national seminar 1 day seminar, it was different. That the template presented there is easier compared to the template that was told to us to follow. That is why I intently uploaded that. Um, I used that template for my week one. What's this lesson? So yun po. And uploading my what's this LP in the LPM. Um, yun na nga, sorry, I asked questions because I was not familiar with the
Mm.
application, but this is a very nice application, Doc.
Wow, thank you. But how about the planning? Were you able to integrate the one that we have discussed since this morning?
I tried as much as possible to revise based on what I have learned from the morning session. Yun po.
We just don't have the luxury of the time. I understand.
Opo, opo. Yes, yes, Doc. Opo.
Okay.
I'm still, the reason why I rated myself 2 or 3 because I'm still learning. Honestly, I'm still learning with this ilaw and with the lack of references.
Mm-mm.
Wala. Thank you po for listening.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, Ma'am Linde. But it's a good thing that you're actually able to share, no? Because basically it applies to all. A lot of the teachers are actually having a hard time, doing the ELAW. So trainings like this is essential to really be able to improve their understanding and also their competence, right? In being able to effectively write ELAW lesson plans. Can we give Ma'am Zapra a round of applause, please? A virtual round of applause for that matter. Okay, let's move on to a different presenter. Um, Please help me welcome Ma'am Benly or Sir Benly Basilisco.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, sir.
Okay. Can you share to us the experience sir, in crafting the lesson plan with all those inputs this morning, and then your experience in uploading the lesson plan to the platform and being able to see immediately by the system po?
Okay, based on my experience, I have same experience with our first presenter. I really don't have enough training for this ILAW lesson planning, and I am very amazed now with this, no, because I really don't think that I got 86.1%, no, as a result, no, upon uploading my ILAW lesson planning, no, or upon uploading my lesson, no, the title of lesson that I am uploading was the role of a solute and solvent in a solution. No? So it says here that my lesson plan is strongly aligns learning experiences and most assessment with the official competency of identifying the rules of solute and the solvent. And then the competency is explicitly addressed in session 1 and 4 through real world example, investigations, written explanations, and performance tasks. However, there is several additional knowledge, skills, and attitude objectives are stated, while evidence for the attitude objectives, especially curiosity, real world awareness, precision and scientific honesty. And this is not directly specified, no? And the summative performance task rubric also does not explicitly include the saturation classification, although the task instruction require it. So I've got only 86.1%, and I am very amazed of this LP monitor of yours, sir, Doc. No, so thank you for this, Doc.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. So I'm just really happy, that integrated and LP monitor provide you that information that we need because if you could take a look at it, the monitor would actually provide us a perfect way. So it's no longer that the lesson plan is for compliance, but the lesson plan is submitted for the purpose of plan and us, submitters would be able to see the feedback ways to be able to do self-improvement. A round of applause to Sir Ben. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Docky.
Okay, thank you. All right, let me go ahead and take a look at other submissions. Right, we're looking for the top three. Can we call Ma'am Feli Monteverde? Ma'am Feli?
Yes, so good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Actually, I'm good, Doc. I just
Yeah.
went to the toilet. Maybe you called my name.
Yes.
Sorry for that.
Yes. So can
And
you share your experience writing po? Yes po.
actually, Doc, I think this is challenging. Opportunities for the knowledge. So I think this apply to the learners, the practical applications and the formative assessment was aligned to the learning competences. And it is clear and measurable, I think, the formative assessment. So for me, Doc, as of now, it's really challenging when planning using the ILAW lesson plan, and I'm very thankful that I have here in the platform attending this webinar. Thank you so much, Doc.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. No, I know that like what I mentioned. It's really quite challenging to be just given a different order, right? That we need to implement it without further workshops or trainings, proper trainings of that, for us to be able to actually learn more about. And that's the reason why when Ronas actually invited me to deliver a talk like this, I immediately said yes, because it's a kind of opportunity for me to work on my advocacy, which is really alignment. I'm actually working on my second dissertation right now, and the focus is all about alignment of the plan, the instruction, to the learning experience, to the assessment, for us to really be able to do something out of the disparity on the increased number of honors vis-a-vis the results. So um, one of my advocacy is to really be able, to share to a lot of people as much as I can do, on how to really plan for something that is with alignment, to be able to provide a very purposeful and meaningful learning experience to our learners, that they would be able to actually remember for life. Well, I believe that's it, no? And thank you so much for all the sharers. Let's give them another virtual round of applause. And probably Doc Franz from Ronas will be providing incentives or benefits to the presenters, because it's not easy to actually share, no, and unmute the microphone. Doc Franz, do you have anything for them? Well, wow, thank you so much, Doc Franz. I hope that though our participants are happy about it. And I'm pretty sure they will be, and they'll be more interested to go ahead and actually share. So with that, we actually concluded our session. But in the event that you still have questions, no, relative to it, please feel free to make use of the chat panel. So I'll be able to kind of take the time to answer your questions pertaining to the ILAW framework. But before that, let me just provide you again a summary, right, of how, in a nutshell, right, what ELAW is all about. ELAW is all about being able to really provide aligned, right, align intention, learning experience, assessment, and ways forward. In the better way to be able to do that is to really reflect on the curriculum guide, for us to be able to decide as to which group of competencies can we actually cluster, which competency can we use as a single competency that we can focus on, or what these competencies are that needs unpacking. And again, to make it easier, right, to determine which needs unpacking, it is important that we identify the cognitive demand. Meaning, if we talk about cognitive demand, we're talking about the Bloom's taxonomy thinking skills, such as remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Let's go ahead and take a look at the context of the learning competency, not just on the verb, because again, the verb can be a bit confusing. We need to be able to read the whole context, right, of the learning competency, for us to really decide properly as to which learning competency or which cognitive demand is more appropriate, so that once we're able to determine what cognitive demand is required of, then we will be able to properly plan out the sessions that we need, right? To be able to deliver the competency to our class. So the ones we're able to determine that there's a need for us, a scaffolding objective for remembering, another for understanding, another one for applying, then we will be able to list that down. And then from there, we can try to check whether we could squeeze two scaffolding objectives into one session, or if we can do all no scaffolding objectives into a session, so that that would become your basis, right, in terms of your planning. Now, so whenever you have that already, then you can go ahead and conceptualize the plan, right? So probably it can be just one with scaffolding, or it can be a cluster with scaffolding as well, right? As in a single plan, so that you would be able to plan out the pre-lesson for each of the session, right? And also the learning experience or the flow per session, as well as the assessment, and of course the ways forward. But one thing to consider in doing the learning experience is that there should be connection to your activity, all right, to your content basically, or the topic that you'd like to focus on. The activity is something that would trigger prior learning, and the analysis is what would process the activity, and the responses to those to the analysis aspect or stage can be used, no, as a bridge towards connecting such activity experience to the abstraction. And again, I'd like to highlight that on the analysis phase, there shouldn't be any judgment of any responses from the learners. Everything is going to be considered and be processed, right? Because if you start answering real answers to questions, particularly on analysis, you are preempting what you're supposed to be doing in abstraction, and that's going to actually lengthen your analysis, and you're supposed to only plan it for 5 minutes, no? So process that in analysis, and then connect that, no, to the abstraction, so that your abstraction is all about clarification on the concepts, no, that are very important in the topic that's supposed to be discussed. And of course, you need to have the application. And again, the suggestion is that the application shall be composed of what we call as the we do and you do, so that before we will be doing it individually, then we will be able to actually do it as a class and be able to invite, you know, what we call as insights from our learners, make further clarifications, right, for the misconception, so that the individual application would be a good evidence gathering of whether or not they have actually understood, or they were able to acquire the necessary cognitive skills, so that once all the evidence points out that they're already ready, then you can go ahead and do the assessment. You can do the formative assessment as another way to assess whether they're already at the acceptable level, so that we could decide whether there's a need to reteach, there's a need to do targeted intervention, or there's a need to basically do an extension for the enriched learners. And of course, the ways forward is the one that would detail that. It would allow you to think of what will be best to do based on the results, or based on the evidence, right, that you were able to gather all throughout the duration. Okay. So right now we still have questions, no, about the submission. We have a question here. Is it okay to submit LPs even though these are not totally finished? It's okay, sir. For as long as you are going to really be able to submit something, because that's a requirement by RONAS as one of the workshop outputs. How to upload? So to upload, again, you log into the LPM platform, go to my BOW, fix the BOW first, so that I can approve. Ma'am Mirazol, I've already approved your BOW, so please click on my lesson plan and upload, right, the lesson plan, so that you'll be able to see the auto-generated alignment score made by the system. Okay. All right. Are there any other questions pertaining to everything that we discussed in this morning? Because if there's none, then I can turn you over to our host for the next part of the session, or of the activity for today. Can we use LP Monitor anytime, Doc? Yes, sir. Just actually, if you could notice, the BOW has a way to actually revise the BOW, because for you to be able to submit other lesson plans, you would need to actually revise the BOW. So if you wish, you could add all the learning competencies of the subjects that you are going to be handling. right? And then from there, you can go ahead once I approve it, then you can go ahead and upload LPs pertinent to those learning competencies. Can we still comply with day one activity output po? I believe that's something that Ronas will have to answer because I'm not sure as to what were the activities that they require you of for day one. You're welcome. Okay, Doc Franz, I believe everything is settled. They're no longer asking questions on the chat. So I believe it's high time to turn over the floor to you. Thank you so much, dear participants. I had a great time with you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Inod, for actively sharing your knowledge and expertise to our participants. And thank you to everyone who actively participated in the discussion and also the workshop. Your presentation, Dr. Inod, has really highlighted the importance of intentional lesson planning, meaningful experiences, purposeful assessment, and responsive instructional strategies in guiding every Filipino learner from clear intention to meaningful learning impact. So at this point, we once again extend our heartfelt gratitude to our resource speaker for sharing his expertise and meaningful insight with us. At this moment, we will now present the Certificate of Appreciation. Allow me to read the citation. Certificate of Recognition and Appreciation is awarded to Dr. Fernando Inad in grateful recognition of his active and participation in full attendance in the webinar of National Webinar on ILAW Lesson Planning, the Teacher Roadmap from Intention to Impact, with the theme Teaching with Clear Intention, Designing Meaningful Learning Experiences, Using Assessment to Lead and Planning Ways to Forward for Every Filipino Learner, held on August 20, August 15, 2026 through Google Meet and Zoom platform. His exemplary expertise, inspiring insights, and steadfast commitment to educational excellence have significantly enriched the learning experience of participants. Through his engagement, he has empowered educators, deepened professional reflection, and advanced the mission of the transformative education for Filipino learners. Given this 15th day of August 2026 via Google Meet or Zoom, Google Meet platform, signed by our Training Center Director, Ms. Leslie Rose B. Giwan, LPP. Let's give Dr. Inad a virtual round of applause, please. So at this juncture, we would also like to request our participant to open their camera for the opportunity along with Dr. Inad. We would like to request all participants to open your camera for the photo opportunity, please. So in 3, 2, 1, smile. Another one po. 3, 2, 1, smile po tayo. Okay, thank you everyone and congratulations. Thank you very much, Dr. Inad, for the opportunity po and your expertise and sharing your knowledge for this webinar. We hope that the knowledge, strategies, and best practices shared by our resource speakers will not only enhance your professional growth, but also create a positive impact on your students, colleagues, and learning communities. May you continue to apply what you have learned today as you help shape the future ready learners and contribute to advancement of the quality education. To all our participants, congratulations on your active participation and commitment to professional growth and lifelong learning. So, as a recognition of your successful participation in today's webinar, your international certificates from American Council of Training and Development will be presented and sent after this webinar. So for now, we will present the certificate. Certificate. Allow me to read the citation. Once again, allow me to read the citation of the certificate. Realizing Opportunities, Nurturing Achievers for the Ronas Training Center by legal authority of the American Council of Training and Development, located at 272 Lafayette Avenue, Hawthorne State of New Jersey, United States of America, confers to Janet Amir Orbino for having completed the 24-hour national webinar on ILAW lesson planning, the teacher roadmap from intention to impact, signed by our academic manager, Ms. Leslie Rose B. Giwan, LPT, MAED, the VP Legal Affairs, Marvin E. Manding, JD, and our CEO, Dr. Franz Baron Giwan, CHP, CGSP. Same certificate will be given to Mr. Arlom Christian Pelayo Ricafuente. Same certificate will be given to Lilibet Estander Abale. Same certificate will be given to Grace Ventura Pain. Same certificate will be given to Giselle Villanueva Cajes. Same certificate will be given to Feli R. de Monteverde. Same certificate will be given to Iris Ann Petalio Dugenio. Same certificate will be given to Maria Shalene Permalino Vierneza. Same certificate will be given to Jolly Roy Aranas Bersaluna. Same certificate will be given to Jonah Pagod Gono. Same certificate will be given to Mark Andrew Galerio Ortego. Same certificate will be given to Mirasol Magadan Tablada. Same certificate will be given to Lindy Flores Zapra. Same certificate will be given to Jata Niesa in Diaz de los Santos. Same certificate will be given to Mimare Tayon Tagaan. Same certificate will be given to Cherry Ann L. De Leon. Same certificate will be given to Rosarina L. David. Same certificate will be given to Mauricio Geka Heniva. Same certificate will be given to Margie Tirado Javier. Same certificate will be given to Ahmad Sulaiman Andil. Same certificate will be given to Mary Ann Vargas Estrada. Same certificate will be given to Roma Ranolio Bamba. Same certificate will be given to Benny Nieves Basilisco. Congratulations, everyone, and pat yourself and say, I did it. So we encourage you to keep this certificate as a testament of your dedication and continuous learning and to professional development. Congratulations, everyone. Before we formally conclude today's webinar, kindly be reminded to accomplish the following requirements posted in our Google Classroom: attendance forms, pre-test and post-test, evaluation forms, assessment activity, and also the speaker evaluations form. Please complete all requirements to ensure proper documentation and processing of your certificate for your certificate of completion. No. So today's webinar reminded us that meaningful teaching begins with clear intentions, thoughtful planning, and commitment to every learner's success. As educators, we are not simply preparing lessons, we are designing meaningful learning experiences using assessment to guide our next step and creating a pathway that help every Filipino learners grow and succeed. May we continue to plan with purpose, teach with passion, assess with intention, and always look for ways to make learning more meaningful and impactful. Always remember, every well planned lesson is a step towards meaningful learning and lasting impact. Plan with intention, teach with purpose, assess to lead, move forward with every learner from intention to impact for every Filipino learners. Congratulations po at maraming salamat. For our attendance out po, it is posted already in our chat box. Kindly fill in na lang po. Thank you.
Never stop dreaming, keep reaching for the stars. Believe in yourself, you'll go far. No matter what they say, just keep pushing through. Never stop dreaming, your dreams will come true. Never stop dreaming, never give up. Keep chasing your dreams, never stop. Is the genre, and in English we'll sing our song forevermore. Never stop dreaming, keep reaching for the stars. Believe in yourself, you'll go far. No matter what they say, just keep pushing through. Never stop dreaming, your dreams will come true. Never stop dreaming, never give up. Keep chasing your dreams, never stop. Is the genre, and in English we'll sing our song forevermore. To the ones who teach, we owe our dreams. You light the way, you make us believe. Through every lesson, you build the future bright. In your hands, the world finds its guiding light. You see the spark when no one else can. With patience and heart, you make us understand. Your wisdom grows in every soul you touch. The difference you make is always so much. To the ones who teach, we owe our dreams. You light the way, you make us believe. Through every lesson, you build the future bright. In your hands, the world finds its guiding light. You see the spark when no one else can. With patience and heart, you make us understand. Your wisdom grows in every soul you touch. The difference you make is always so much.